Hi all, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to take some time to work on Leo's question about how we can create categories based on aggregated metrics. So based on the question that he posted, I can actually see that there are two parts of the question. First of all, he wants to visualize the product revenue category by the total sales in a pie chart. This would tell us how many percent of the sales was contributed by the best sellers. This may be useful if he wants to decide if he should shut down a product line or develop more for a specific product line. Secondly, he wants to visualize the number of products, aka the SKU, in each revenue category. This again provides insights to the seller to see if the proportion of the sales contributed by the product is at a healthy ratio. Otherwise, they may need to relook at their product proposition, the pricing, and so on to fix it. So to help answer Leo's question, I'll use my own data to show you the example. You may grab the same data set in the description below if you want to practice along. So first of all, we will create a data set that aggregates the sales revenue by product SKU. This can be achieved in Data Studio using blend data. So here I already have my data set imported in Google Data Studio. So now I'm going to go ahead and create the aggregated data set. Now let's go to Resource and click Manage Blends. Then click Add a Blend to add a new data set. So here, Data Studio will automatically select a data set that you have already connected in this report. So just make sure you select the correct data set for the first table. Now, under the dimension, we're going to drag and drop the product SKU into the dimension. This is the category or the grouping field that we're going to group the sales revenue. For the sales revenue, you will just need to add it to the metrics section. Next, we will select a date range. This is very important as it decides how the data is being aggregated when a date range is selected from the calendar dropdown. So for our example, we are going to select sales date for now. For the date range selection, we will leave it as default, which is auto. This means that whenever we are selecting a date range from the charts or from the filter control, it will automatically filter this data set that we created here. Now the last step here is to rename this data set as revenue by product SKU, and we can click Save to proceed. So now you can click the data drop down at the property panel to select the new aggregated data that we just created. Moving on, we will create two pie charts for each part of Leo's question that we just mentioned earlier. So first of all, let's start with the first chart, which is the total sales by product sales category. In the dimension field, we actually need to add a category for the 4 revenue buckets. But you can see now we don't have the option to add a field anywhere in this property panel because the option is kind of hidden for blended data. So now I'm going to show you how you can add a calculated field for blended data. Now at the dimension section, toggle the drill down option. Now click Add Dimension and you will see Create Field at the bottom of the pop-up window. Here you can create a new calculated field within the chart, then the rest will just be the same like how you usually create a calculated field. So first of all, we'll just name the field as product revenue category. Then we will use a case when formula to create the buckets for the revenue. So this formula is pretty simple. I kind of cover the core of how to use this function in one of my video, but here I just want to quickly explain that when you have a range, for example 0 to 100, you want to group it in the same category, you will have to use the AND operator in between of the expression. And once you're done with every condition, you will have to end this entire formula with an AND clause. So once you see the green tick, you can click apply. So that will help you to create a new category for the data blend. Then we can remove the previous default dimension. For the metric, since we already have the correct metric selected, which is the sales revenue, now we can consider this chart is already done. Now for the second chart, we want to know how many products actually fall in each revenue range. So we can duplicate the same chart and switch the metric from revenue to the total products. So to do that, we will just need to drag and drop the SKU field into the metric. Then it will automatically calculate the total number of distinct SKU for us. Now we can see most of the products fall in the lowest sales revenue group. Alright, that's all for today's sharing. If you liked today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.